Parents will find it worthwhile to help students analyze the picture of the boats. The two pictures are facts, but there is more than one interpretation of what is happening. At first glance, it looks like the motorboat is moving and the sailboat is sitting still, but that is not the only possibility. Both boats may be moving in opposite directions. Both boats may be moving in the same direction. The sailboat could be moving slower, faster, or not moving at all. If there was a non-moving object in the background to act as a frame of reference, it would be easy to determine how the boats were moving. Two important concepts in science are that there may be more than one interpretation of the same facts, and one set of facts do not always prove that something is true. All of the possibilities should be investigated. The title of this series is a reminder to investigate the possibilities. Today's lesson will help students understand what is meant by a frame of reference. Students should place a flat board on a toy wagon with a broom handle in a vertical position behind the wagon. One person should pull the wagon at a slow, steady pace as a wind-up walking toy walks in the opposite direction the wagon is being pulled. Another student should focus only on the broom handle and the walking toy and the relative positions of these two objects without using anything else in the room as a frame of reference. Have them make diagrams of the wagon, broom handle, and walking toy at different times. Students should imagine that they are on the board behind the walking toy and unable to see any other objects in the room. They should tell how the toy would appear to be moving from this position. Have students imagine they were scientists in the 1500s and were trying to figure out how the sun, moon, planets, and stars were moving without a frame of reference in space. They should recognize that this was a very difficult puzzle to figure out. The narrative on page 12 is a continuation of the concept of how science works. If the teacher has an opportunity to make a sketch similar to the drawing labeled "The Remains of the Original Painting," give the students a copy and ask them to try to figure out what the drawing might have looked like before it was damaged. The students could also just read the story and discuss whether one reconstruction is more likely than the other to be like the original. Help them to understand these important concepts. The partial drawing represented the available evidence and facts. The lines that were filled in represented possible explanations. There was more than one logical explanation for how to reconstruct the drawing, just as scientists often find more than one logical explanation for the evidence they are studying. None of the reconstructed drawings could be called a fact. The level of certainty for a hypothesis can be high or low, but scientific experiments do not prove a hypothesis to be true. Things that have been observed can be considered facts, but possible explanations about how and why things operate in nature are not facts. For these reasons, students should be skeptical about evolutionary explanations that attempt to show how all living things originated from a single common ancestor by natural processes only. They should be confident in saying evolution from a common ancestor is not a fact.